Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of my companions around the world, welcome to another episode of the Consciousness Companions. With us, your host, right here, we got the MVP of BDE, LaChristopher Devant over in California, giving us the California love, and me right here, the self-talk engineer, the hip-hop hypnotherapist. That's right, you got Charles Woolfork in the house. Chris, what's popping, brother?
What's up, Charles? I love to see you, man. We got a hot show today. We're going to do a little recap of last week. We're going to do some hot topics of the day and then go over our principles of the week. So I'm ready to get rolling.
Let's go. And listen, you guys, thank you all so much for your attention and your love. And if you are right here, right now on a YouTube platform, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. And if you're on a podcast platform, give us brothers 5 stars and some feedback as well. So, last week we did a NLP exercise where we changed the details of Chris's voice in his mind when he gets mad. Now, Chris, before we did the exercise, do you remember what the voice sounded like?
Before we did the exercise?
Yeah, before we did the exercise.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, tell us what it sounded like.
It sounded like me.
Yeah. It sounded like, So for all you guys out there, it sounded like him, but also he said that it was loud and it wasn't fast or slow. It's kind of normal. It was a high-pitched voice. It had no pauses, no cadences, and it was something that was internal, something that came from his own voice in his own mind. So what we did was we changed that around. We wanted Chris's anger or the internal voice with his anger be less prevalent and something that he wouldn't react to as much. So we switched over everything, all the different details in his mind. So we made it from internal to external. So now it was to sound like that voice in his head was to sound like it was coming from a speaker. We turned the voice down, so it went from loud to soft. We said that it was at about a normal speed. We took that to a slow speed, like it was chopped and screwed. Mm-hmm. And then we took it from a high pitch to a very low pitch, like the Allstate guy was talking to him in his head. And instead of it sounded like himself, we wanted it to sound like Dave Chappelle, so it could be a bit more humorous and lighthearted. And Chris, have you seen any changes or anything that was different within yourself ever since we did that exercise?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't really had too many instances of getting angry, but I did notice even when I was coming close to that, just that voice is just cracks me up. And I mean, it's hard to really be upset when you listen to Dave Chappelle. I mean,
100%. So for all you guys out there, we did do this exercise 3 times. We knew it might not necessarily work on the first one. So we came back the next day and did it. And then we came back 2 days afterwards on that Friday and we did the exercise as well, which is something for you all to realize. Like the exercises that we go over on this podcast, there's something that it may not be just a one and done type of thing. So please give it some practice and do it until it works. So can you tell us an opportunity where you could have got kind of angry or where that voice did come into play and then it simmered down quickly?
There was a situation with Jen, my wife, where we were having a conversation and I don't know, she said something that was internally kind of annoying. And normally when that gets like that, I get super snappy and I get that, that voice in my head. But at the time I was just laughing and I was like, oh, it's actually working.
That's awesome. Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. So
just even being able to recognize it that quick, just helpful. Just because having that voice and then it being different just kind of throws you off a little bit, but yeah, until you get used to it.
That is so cool. That is so cool that it just snapped into place. Oh, I'm not reacting like I used to now.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Because usually, you tell us in your mind, you be like, man, you shut the hell up talking to me. I don't know who you think you're talking to. But then, when it's like Dave Chappelle talking and it's all chopped and screwed, it's got a cadence and everything coming from a radio, it's kind of, it doesn't have as much intensity and passion and energy into it.
Right. It's not coming from internal anymore.
Yeah. And with all that, with you just able to laugh it off and everything, did you simmer over it later or was it just something that just passed by like a cloud in the sky?
Yeah, I don't really think I even thought about it after that. Like, it wasn't really anything that I thought about because it didn't really hold much significance emotionally. Because usually, like when you stew on stuff like that, there's an emotion attached to it. But without that emotion, I mean, it's just fly by night.
Man, and you're not somebody that necessarily is a reactor as well. So you think about what you say before, what you say or do before you say it. So now with that internal voice being something a little different, especially when you get angry, that's pretty cool that you be able to react in a more reasonable way.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that's congratulations, bro. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Keep me posted on everything, and let me know if anything, if there's like ever any type of relapse. With you guys, there can be like a relapse to where there can be an intensified moment to where you go. There's always levels. You can go from one level of anger to another level of anger, and that voice may sound different. So then you could go back to that, back to a different voice that rouse up within you because of the anger. So, let me know if there's any type of a relapse or any type of other emotions that come up that can help you, that can put you into a space that you don't want to. But all in all, I'm glad that the practice and everything worked out.
Yeah, no, it worked out wonderfully. So I really appreciate it.
Of course. Now you have a hot topic for us to talk about today, yeah?
Yeah, just another thing that me and Jen were talking about, just shooting the breeze, just talking about just all the bad news and bad stuff that's just been going around, and just how a lot of it has been deriving from jealousy or people comparing themselves to each other, or wanting what somebody else's have, or just looking at all the material things and striving for those and making that their goal. And then when you get that, somebody come rob, kill you for it. It's just a lot of crazy things that have been going on, especially with rappers getting robbed and killed just nonstop, it seems like. And then the girl down in Mexico, Shanquella, who apparently went down there with her friends and ended up getting beat up by her friends, getting her back and neck broken, obviously because of probably jealousy as well. You know what I mean? And it's just crazy how we put so much stock in other people, so much stock in things, and not enough stock in ourselves and bettering ourselves and just wanting better for just the betterment of yourself, not just for the things that you will accumulate as a result of bettering yourself, but bettering yourself for the betterment of everyone else. It's just something that I've been thinking about, as I continue my path in life and trying to accumulate more things, that I often check myself and just making sure that I'm staying in alignment and making sure that it's for the right reason, it's for the betterment, not only of myself, but the greater good. And just making sure that at the end of the day, I'm holding myself accountable, comparing myself to myself, and understanding that my timeline doesn't necessarily jive with everybody else's.
That's real talk, bro. Like I had a bout with imposter syndrome last year, and I had gotten rid of a lot of different limiting beliefs, like I'm not good enough and I'm not lovable or I'm not worthy. But like I ran into someone that was like hitting all these goals that I wanted to hit, all these financial goals that I wanted to hit, and all of a sudden I just felt like a lot of lack within me because I was comparing myself to him. I didn't look at all the people that I was a blessing to. I didn't look at all the things that I know how to do that this person, like all my gifts. It's not even about him. I didn't look at all my gifts. I didn't look at all the people that cared about me. I didn't look at like the wealth that I have, which is the social wealth. You know what I mean? The social equity that I have around the community. And like you said, my journey is different than his, and I'm on a different place in my journey than him, and I didn't appreciate that. So then when I did, I got down. I felt like I was just this fake dude that was like really pretending to be someone that I'm not, or I was trying to be something that I am not, because I was trying to portray more than I really had. But in the long run, I had to learn like, yo, I am a king amongst kings. You know what I mean? Like I had to look at all my gifts. I had to look at all the blessings that I've given and that I'm going to give as well. I had to look at all the people that love me. And it wasn't about the materialistic things. It was about the things that were within my heart and soul. So really like auditing myself, taking a real true audit of myself and saying, yo, who am I? And like knowing that I am a man, that I am a king, that I am a creator, and that I have come here for a purpose. And my purpose may not be someone else's purpose, but I know that I am always taken care of. I have everything that I need, most of the things that I want, and all those things that I'll accumulate in the future. Those are things that will come from the value that I give. You know what I mean? So therefore, if I don't have those yet, then that means that I'm on my way to giving even more value, you know what I mean, to the market. I mean, not as a person. I already give so much value to the world, but to the market, there's always more and more knowledge that I can give to the world as well. So it's like really, really looking within yourself and being okay with who you are. Because once you like really see who you are, man, you're gonna see like you have so much to offer to this world.
And not even just being okay with who you are and where you are, it's just even just congratulating yourself for being where you are. I mean, because you're better than you were yesterday. You're better than you were a month ago. You're better than you were a year ago. I mean, the amount of growth that you've had over the amount of years, you know, you're going to continue to keep growing. And so we need to make sure that we acknowledge those milestones as well in our life, and that we're not always looking to get to the end of the line. There's never going to be an end of the line. It's always going to keep going. That once you get that car, once you get that house, I mean, your hunger is not going to stop. It's going to keep going. So there's never going to be a final destination. You just got to continue to keep growing each and every day and trying to spread that knowledge to others and love and support as well.
Yeah, 100%. And like the reason that some of these folks out here may be doing that is it's two things, right? Number one, hurt people hurt people. I'm always harping about that. Hurt people hurt people. So these people looking within themselves and they looking at their trauma and they hurt. And also, I mean, there's a guy named Jay Morrison. He's always talking about how, you know, hip hop culture, especially, is all based on trauma. You know, this person hitting this girl or that person, you know, killing that person and this, that, and the other. It's all based on trauma. So it's like, yo, all these people are hurting. And also, the good book says that you can only love each other as much as you love yourself. So if you're looking in the mirror and you ain't loving yourself, then how can you love someone else? You know what I mean? It's only truly showing like how much you loving somebody else if you are willing to hurt somebody for what they have, instead of being that blessing that you're talking about. So it's all these hurt people just hurting other people because they looking in the mirror and they like, man, I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know what I have to offer. So why should I love myself? So why should I love you too?
Self-love, gotta have more of it.
Got to. It's important, yo. So like the way to self-love, like I said, man, just auditing yourself. You got so much and having a bigger vision for yourself. Last week I talked about a long-term investment and investing in yourself long-term. Like what you have right now or who you are right now is not who you need to be in the next 5-10 years. So if you create that person, if you write down who you want to be, who you want to become in the next 5, 10, 15 years, then you can work towards that person, but you're giving yourself time to develop. You feel me? And that's so important for you to give yourself that time. So then you won't get discouraged at what happens right now in the present or what happens right now in this short term. But then what happens over the long term, you'll look back and you say, man, I wrote that stuff down a while ago. And now look what's unfolded. I'm who I always thought I could be. So, yo, like, just love yourself now, but also love the person that you're going to become as well. Self-love.
Yeah, definitely writing it down is definitely a good key. I've been doing that over the couple of years, every now and then, writing down goals, aspirations, and even got my board up here. And just to be able to just check things off that's the best feeling right there, is just checking things off.
100%, man. Achieve goals is a way to just boost your self-esteem and self-worth so much, bro. When you see something and you're like, man, I did that, no matter how big or how small. When you achieve a goal, when you're able to check that off, bro, that's just a booster. And also it keeps you going for this future as well.
100%.
Hell yeah. So now that is going to take us into the principles of the week. Now, Chris, you always come with some deep shit, so I'm sure you're not gonna fail us now. Go ahead, bro. Let me get that shovel. Let me get that bulldozer out so you can go get us in us with some deep shit.
Hopefully it ain't too deep. My principle of the week is if it's worth dreaming about, it's worth working for. So if it's a dream of yours, if it's something that you always wanted to do, wanted to achieve, it's worth working for. So put that plan together, write it down, get those steps together and start working towards it. Even if it's doing one little thing a day or a week, as long as you're taking those tiny little steps towards that dream, just keep working. You'll achieve it. It'll come. It'll come. Just gotta have faith.
Got to, yo. Like, and like, I love a dude by the name of Gary Vaynerchuk who's on social media all the time. Gary V always talk about how if you want to do anything, you can achieve it. If you want to talk about Smurfs, if you want to talk about baseball cards, if you want to talk about T-shirts, yo, you can do it on any type of podcast platform. You can become an expert at it and you can make a living off of it, yo. Like you can literally do what you put your mind to, especially nowadays with all the resources and all the platforms that we have around here. You just got to find your thing, whether it be writing, whether it be audio, whether it be video, whatever it may be. You can go out there and you can become an expert at what you love, especially with all the knowledge that we have out here and on the internet, yo, and you can do anything that you want. So like Chris said, make that plan, work for it, spend hours on it, get your 10,000 hours in. And man, when you're having fun, especially if you're passionate about something, when you're having fun, those hours are just gonna be like that, yo. Like,
yeah, when you work with passion, it don't feel like work. It's just what you do.
Real talk, bro. When I first started becoming a practitioner of neurolinguistic programming and hypnotherapy, and I wanted to like start this business, I just was doing sessions for free because a lot of people say, yo, if you do things for free for somebody, then what you can then ask them if they want to get the paid services. So I did that so many freaking times. So I did that so much, and I've worked with over 400 people in 4 years, yo, which is the wildest thing ever. Just working, and plus I'm a nice person, you know what I mean? So like I was just giving off just random sessions. You were my first session ever back in the day. 4 years ago. So like, man, like 4 years has passed and I could have never thought, working with 400 people would be a thing, getting my 10,000 hours would be a thing. Having podcasts about, me doing what I absolutely love would be a thing. But man, I built this company only because I worked my ass off at making sure that I could be successful at this and make this dream unfold like I wanted to. And it's so cool to see all of the blessings that I've distributed and all the prosperity that is to come and all the abundance that I have in my life because of the law of reciprocity and the law of circulation and everything, man. So, bruh, like I am a testament to what Chris just said. If you have a dream, you just work for it, yo. Work for it.
They didn't believe in us, but God did.
Right, God did.
God did.
Real talk. Hey, and speaking of God did, yo, one thing that is a direct line to the creator and to the universe is writing it down. And that is my principle of the day. Write it down. Yeah, I don't know what it is. But the important things in my life, when I write it down, those things come to me. They are drawn to me. The universe unfolds perfectly, so they come within my life. Dig this. I'll tell you 2 stories. Number one, back when I got a divorce in 2018, I wrote down exactly, or I put in my notes, in fact, I put in my notes exactly what I wanted it in a partner, like all the way down to how she has fun, how she talks, her spiritual beliefs, her political beliefs, her physical everything down to the T. And wouldn't you know, that now I am with my dream girl, and Brienne. And it's crazy how it all unfolded, yo. It's crazy how it all unfolded. But man, I couldn't be more happier to be with my person. And I can truly call her my person because I designed this mother. I designed this. You know what I mean? I designed it.
I tell Jen that all the time that she prayed for me.
That's hilarious. But it's true though, yo. It's true.
Yeah, she said that she went before she went to Hawaii. She had prayed that she would meet for somebody that wasn't from LA that was nice or whatever. And like a month later, your boy showed up.
And the unlikeliest of all ways too, with the way that y'all but it like the universe.
Oh, you actually prayed for me.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just, it happens time after time. But then it's like I told you about my marketing plan, that I just wrote down about 4 months ago. And I wrote down step after step what I needed to do. I needed to hire an assistant, get more active on social media, release advertisements, create an ebook, create a course, and all these things just happened. It wasn't a plan necessarily. It wasn't a plan. It was God's plan. He put that vision into me. And I wrote it down and I put it up. I put it up in 2 places in my house. I put it up here right behind me on this wall, and then over there on this cabinet. And man, it was just in my face every day. And then I looked up one day and I was just talking to Brie. I was like, yo, I've literally done everything on my list, on my marketing plan. And now I took them down, and because it's like, it's time for a new one. It's time to do bigger and better things, with the company. And, it's like, but I can't deny the law of it. In fact, and it's in the Bible, and I'm a murder this. And Habakkuk, is that how you say it? Habakkuk? And Habakkuk.
I am the wrong person to be asking about any
chapter 2,
Hebrew,
verse Matthew, and Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 through 3. It says, and then God answered, write what you see, write it out in big block letters, so that it can be read on the run. This vision/message is a witness pointing to what's coming. So, if you write it down, it's just, it's coming for you. It's coming. It's just that clear vision that's within your mind. So that's it. Write it down.
Yeah, I definitely got to write it down more, because it definitely works.
Big time. Big time. So with that, you guys, thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for your attention and for your time. We really appreciate it. If you are on the podcast platform, please give some brothers 5 stars and some feedback. And if you're on the YouTube platform, go ahead and give a thumbs up and subscribe. You know what I mean? Right here, right now. And you are here with your host, the MVP of BDE, LaChristopher Devine. Yo, Chris, anything else you want to tell the people? Just
normally, just as usual, live life as beautifully as possible. Remember to follow those dreams and follow that passion. So you guys have a good night. It's great being with you, Charles.
Yeah, man. You got me, your self-talk engineer, the hip-hop hypnotherapist, Charles Wolfork. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, take care of yourself and take care of one another. Peace.